Good evening, good afternoon. I am Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. Harlem Network News is a media platform. We started at the onset of COVID, and we are still here. Our mission and our motivation is to ensure that Harlem and the Harlem's quote of the world are informed, engaged, and called to action. Before we get started, I first want to salute and pay homage to our Congressman Charles B. Rangel, who transitioned on Memorial Day at the age of 94. He was the Lion of Lenox Avenue and put much into place. His funeral arrangements are in place. He will lie in state in Harlem at St. Aloysius Church, I believe on the 9th. On the 10th, he will lie in state at City Hall. And on the 13th at 9:45, he will be funeralized at St. Patrick's Cathedral. So this is a powerful moment for a Black man that was our congressman for 46 years. And he followed our great Adam Clayton Powell Jr. So this is indeed Harlem history. He did a lot. We awarded him here at Harlem Network News, and up on our YouTube channel, we will be airing a 2-hour interview, an hour interview that took place 2 years ago. And it was a precision interview that Congressman Rangel put in place to just share his life story and really drop a lot of jewels that we all need to know. He was Harlem, a man of the people, a man of the streets, a neighbor. We salute you. And we got much work to do. So, on that note, we have with us here, and this is the continuation of our mayoral candidates series for New York City. And we have with us candidate Dr. Selma Bartholomew. So without further ado, sister candidate Selma Bartholomew, please share with us who you are and whose you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, my amazing, phenomenal queen, Wisdom, and greetings to the Harlem Network News and all of the Harlems of the world. That is such a powerful concept, right? To be connected to others and to community. I am Dr. Selma Bartholomew, mayoral candidate for New York City. I bring over 30 years of leadership experience in education as an entrepreneur, and also I am a New Yorker. I was born in Grenada and I grew up in Harlem. I grew up on 143rd Street and St. Nicholas, ran off to college at 16 to earn a bachelor's in mathematics and physics. And my doctorate is in policy and leadership and education from Fordham University. And so I'm excited to connect with your audience and to the broader community to talk about my why. What is my mission for this mayoral office? And I stepped into the race because I am not in the Democratic clubs, but I am a Democrat, and I believe that democracy should be spelled with a small d, like Ella Baker, that we should be
All
able
right.
to feel more connected, right? And I feel the frustration of New Yorkers. We are ready for real change. We want to be able to say we have improved schools, better schools, that we feel safe, and we want a better quality of life. And so I'm running on what is almost like the salt of the earth to be able to improve education, to really address public safety, and to really bring some new ideas to New Yorkers to rebuild our community and to make us feel more connected. And so I'm excited to have this conversation, and I thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. And you kind of segued a little bit. I'm Terri Wisdom, This is Harlem Network News, and I'm here with New York City mayoral candidate in the person of Dr. Selma Bartholomew. And I wanted to just start off with asking you, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what is your platform? What is it that sets you apart? What is it that you feel as a mayor you want to implement? And then how do you plan to implement it? Because we know it's a lot here in New York City. We got a lot going on. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I think my platform really arises first from the challenges that New Yorkers are facing. I started my business in 2008 in the middle of the recession after a very full career. I had worked with schools across the country for Kaplan K-12. I had also worked with the National Science Foundation and really building leaders across the city. And in '08, I stepped out on faith. But what I discovered is the ugly truth of New York City is that as a woman-owned business, as a Black-owned business, there was no real opportunity. And New Yorkers should know that for every dollar we make as Black businesses, we make less than half of a penny. Hispanic businesses make less than half of a penny. White women, they claim make 2 pennies, but I think what it is we have to be honest that wealthy white men put their businesses in the names of their white coworker or whoever they can find that they have a
Mhm.
relationship with. And so we across the city, we are not doing well. The financial gap is real. And so we are often talking about programs and we need projects. I want to say to people, let's end that mentality for people who rely on just enough cash to survive. We have to now uplift people financially. And so my goal is to really build what I call ecosystems. And in an ecosystem, things are very well connected. You don't have schooling over there and you don't have health over there. You're really looking to create an environment where people feel like they can thrive. And so one of the things I'd like to do is look first at what is in your zip code, a quality of life index tool. We know your zip code. So for example, in Harlem, 10032 is a Harlem zip code. What's in there? Where are the parks? Where are the funeral homes? Where are the doulas? Where are the opportunities for health, for mental health services? If we looked at, for example, Staten Island, most people do not know that Staten Island is the only borough without a public hospital. And so that health and that gap, we need to now first assess and give people some level of honesty and transparency across the city. So once we know what is in your zip code, I, as the mayor of New York City, can now flatten government. That we often feel like Wall Street is the capital of New York and things are
Mhm.
being done to us. So now, New Yorkers, you're going to love the tool, but as mayor, I want us to have the tool because we can now fund across the city and be honest and say this borough doesn't have this. So when you invest in it, right, someone from the Bronx don't feel like if I'm being left out, that we have some transparency. The next thing that I'd like to do based on now these zip codes is I want to now create zones and I want to do business hubs across the city. And that is important because when you have such a wealth gap, and we need to now really build businesses and economic engine, and businesses are not doing well. We were decimated with COVID. We did not get any relief. And most businesses, you offer them grants or loans, right? And if you were already struggling. So in these eco hubs, imagine now you bring your entrepreneur and let's bring our experienced entrepreneurs from the local level. Let's, for example, bring you in there, right? And
Okay,
have
I love
you
it.
get some resources and you can coach and you can now offer your years of expertise to our entrepreneurs. You can also offer technical assistance because it is policies that work against us as businesses. Here's something that has never been done. I would now like to identify, as the mayor, venture capitalists who have a commitment to uplifting our city, bring them into the eco hub because across the city and in particular in Harlem and in Black and brown communities, we don't get VC dollars. We make less than 1% everywhere. So bring them into the zone. And here's something special I'd like to do. When the VC says, I will give you $1 million, I want to match it. And you might say, Dr.
Okay.
That's not possible. Well, it turns out it is possible that for several years now, there has been an initiative called SETI. And of course,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt
sorry,
you, but this is really important information. Harlem Network News right here. You said for several years it's been something called SETI.
SETI.
What is that?
Socially economically disadvantaged entrepreneurs. And so this people talk DEI, but in reality, we should be talking SETI. And the SETI money has touched outside of our communities. That in New York State, they have been given businesses who apply to SETI matching venture capital funds. So when a business showed up with a VC, they gave them $500,000, they can get matching. That money has not touched our communities. And I think it's because we do not have leaders who fundamentally want to uplift us, that they want to keep us in this mindset that we should be poor. I want to say to people, we're not poor, we're poorly organized, we're poor leadership. And so outside, I have worked outside of New York for several years. In the Midwest, they've been building their businesses. And so we're angry at Trump, and I get it, but we need a strategy now to fundamentally change how we go about the work in New York City. So I want to give individuals and in these eco homes matching fund. So what did I just do? I could just take a kid from the Bronx to Wall Street, right? And in
Mhm.
our communities, as we know, when you don't have businesses, you can't hire your own. And so we are struggling financially because our businesses are also struggling. And more importantly, also, we have so many members. So we have over 400,000 people impacted by the criminal justice system. People are saying close Rikers. Yes, close it. But so what? What are you going to do for people? You've got to uplift them. So in these eco hubs, that individual could be an individual who might have been impacted by criminal justice and they want to build a business. Or how about the fact that now that business can now hire them locally? So we need a
Mm.
shifting of mindset. So New Yorkers, what I'm bringing to the table is a bold vision to fundamentally create not generational wealth, but a legacy of wealth for across the city. And I want to say to us also, what we're facing in New York is a system that has been run by the wealthy, and they are robber barons, white collar criminals, and poverty pimps have been running our agencies and really taking from us, and so leaving us feeling very disillusioned in New York.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that information. And I'm doing like newsflash, SETI, SETI, SETI. And I just think it's very interesting. Business is important. I have been an entrepreneur pretty much here in Harlem uh, in several businesses, and it's always been extremely difficult because we did not get the capital that we should have, even from the Great Empowerment Zone, which our great Congressman Rangel pushed for that, but somehow in the bureaucracy, the real grassroots Black and brown people really were not able to get it because there was so many qualifications or
Mhm.
that you needed to get it. So
And
this
so,
study is very interesting. And it's
yes,
also interesting because Harlem Network News, as a business, Black media matters. And
yes.
we are struggling because we don't have the finances, we don't have the funding, we
Mhm.
can't compete. And it's not
Yes.
about competing because, thank goodness for the technology that we're in now because we can get our messages out. But imagine what we could do with the money that we need to do it. And this, once again, there's an information gap.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
right
But thank
hand doesn't
you.
know what left hand is doing. We don't know what is available. I
Yes.
consider myself a person who's intelligent and does the research. This is my first time hearing about SETI. So we've got to look at that. And that's wherein our mission of knowledge is power, making sure people are informed, then engage them and call them to action. And it's a different world. But I like what you're saying about policy because pretty much the working class people, we are shouldering the majority of taxes
Yes,
And the rich robber barons are taking it all on our back. It's a modern day slavery, if you
it
will.
is. No, it absolutely
Oil, and it's a
is.
modern day slavery. We don't own. So
Yes,
you could say living in these apartments, we're pretty much sharecropping. And if we
yes.
don't work, we can't pay the rent.
Mhm.
So a lot
And
to
when we work, we still can't
unpack.
pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. The working poor,
Yeah.
the
And I
working
feel it.
poor.
I want to say to New Yorkers that we are all in the same boat, and your vulnerability is my vulnerability. But know that your bank account does not equate to your talent. And this has been systemic, that for more than 400 years, it has been policy and mathematics that has been used to disenfranchise the Black family, to disinherit Black family. And now what people are feeling is that those policies and the mathematics is now being used in a broader scale to now really go after the poor, right? And to go after the middle class. And people are all feeling this. And so now we have to realize also that our leaders, who are they accountable to? Who are they accountable to? Because when you vote someone in and now you implement policy that's on the backs of those individuals and telling them that their vote matters, people feel disillusioned. And now we're opening up our eyes and realizing that we do have power, but we have to understand policy, and we have to understand that things are impacting us, and financial wealth we can be uplifted, but we now need to understand how things are working against us. So, hey, New York, I'm Dr.
Mhm.
Bartholomew. Please let me help you. Allow me to bring my strategic thinking, my leadership skills, my team building skills, and more importantly, the ideas, right? That this is about a shifting of a mindset, that we can do this work together, and we have the capacity in New York. As we think also about the gap, I'd like to do something very different with art as I talk about ecosystem. So businesses is part of the ecosystem. Art is part of the ecosystem as well. We have lots of event spaces that lay empty during the week in our community. Our children, right? We say, oh, we need after school and we need summer jobs. Well, no, they need opportunity all year round. And they are
Mhm.
village scholars. Instead of saying they're schools, no, they're village scholars. So we have to build a village. So what I
Mhm.
want to do is use those spaces, empower those local businesses, and turn those into artist tents and hubs. Artists in New York City make more than 85% of them make less than $10,000 a year. And
Mhm.
so that means that you really are, when the starving artists, they've decided to keep you starving. And that art is something of that of privilege, and it's not necessarily something that we can have consistent access to. So we're saying we have mental illness. Well, we need joy. We need to be able to now create spaces in our community that we have joy. And as a platform, also, I'm going after, my platform is win our children and our city back. And we now have to be honest about the challenges that our children are facing, that this culture of weed and drugs that we are now pushing in our communities. I grew up in Harlem, and I survived a crack in the 80s. And so
Okay.
many people did not. And it was something that devastated families. It broke so many families, and not just Black families, it broke families.
Mhm.
And I remember Mother Hill, right, being this hero that stepped up into the community. And now we are allowing the victimization of our children for the money. That we are telling ourselves that we are going to get rich off of the cannabis industry. And I want to say to people, where's the money at? Where's that? But what I do see instead are weed buses in our community. I'm in the North Bronx. I have literally six up and down Boston Road, up and down Gun Hill Road. And people don't even pick up the adults. They're not even picking up that these are weed buses that young people are getting on, and that they're getting high. They're engaging in group sex. They're engaging in all kinds of things as a result of this weed. STDs are up. Our girls are going missing. Our girls are going missing. We have
Mhm.
a police chief who, in their last interview of the police chief, and they asked them what factors are contributing, and they said, "Oh, we don't know," because there's a culture
Mhm.
that just says that we don't matter and our children don't matter. And what society allows, we have more than 200,000 children who are incarcerated, and more than 175,000 Black children are incarcerated. Black and brown children are incarcerated.
Wow.
Where in the world do people and any other people have allowed the incarceration of their children, the miseducation of our children? It is time for us to go and win our children back, give them art, give them music. I've made a commitment to teach 1.5 million children how to swim. It breaks my heart every summer a child dies. We just had one, and everyone offered condolences. And our current mayor says he's given a $5,000 grant. That is ridiculous. It is insultive. No, you need a plan of action. So let's go win. Let's go win our children and our city
Okay.
back.
Well, thank you for that. Once again, this is Harlem Network News, and I'm Terri Wisdom, and I'm here with our mayoral candidate, Dr. Selma Bartholomew. And this is, I believe, her first time running for public office, and she's coming in with some fresh ideas and some concerns. I think the point that you raised about the cannabis and the business and all of that that is going on is a very critical factor to mention, because we know that we had to knock down a lot of the illegal cannabis spots, which in Harlem, it looks like a lot of them still are here
Oh,
and
yes,
active.
yes,
And also, we're very concerned because even prior to legalization, there's a lot of drug activity in our community, and a lot
absolutely.
of this drug activity preys on the children. The
Absolutely.
children are in school and now they're doing edibles. And
Mhm.
so that's not as detectable as the smell of weed, but it's still impactful. And we don't know the long term impact on their minds, their bodies. There has been, studies of what happens, when you take these substances in on a brain that is not developed, which I believe, especially
Absolutely.
for males, it's not till they're 25. So
Absolutely.
we have a lot of concerns, real concerns. Just quick, because I don't want us to belabor too long, but I'm going to throw a couple of things at you, just in terms of some major issues that we're dealing with here in New York City. And I'm just going to run them down quick and you're going to respond. Give me just a response. One of the concerns is affordable housing, quote, affordable for who? The developers preying on our communities, gentrification. That's one thing. How do we address that?
Interesting. Okay. Well, first, I am disappointed in our mayor, in our comptroller, and in our Speaker of the House, because they have just dropped an affordability bomb on us called the City of Yes Plan. Now they want to rebrand it as City for All. And most New Yorkers do not know this because we're so financially stressed and we're just going about our life, and we are once again trusting, right, people we vote in. For those who don't know, the City of Yes Plan is around the breaking of the transit zone regulation. So next time you step out and you're out in the city, you'll look and you'll see a lot of one floor buildings that are only 1 story high. And so those were under particular zoning laws. So they've broken those regulations, and they've now given the developers and those who own commercial real estate a blank check to come in and now get subsidies to now tear down those spaces and supposedly build affordable houses. First, who in our communities own commercial real estate? Right? The real estate has been owned by individuals outside of our city, and these big corporations are buying up the city and pushing us out. I remember Bloomberg said, "Oh, if you can't afford the city, then you should just then you should just move." At the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
So this is important because one, it people do not understand that it is our city council members who are responsible for the use of land in New York. And so, how could they have done this to us to put this sweeping legislation across the city without any real engagement? In so many districts, individuals on the community boards voted no. And now we're discovering that the actual city council members went and voted yes. So what did they get in order to do this? The legislation does not come with any parking. It also does not deal with the fact that people also don't understand the science of certain things. When you build, you have to deal with water, right? A building
Mhm.
needs water. So New York City has not had any major infrastructure around the use of water in New York. And so all of these things, I live in the Bronx. My water bill is off the chart. And most people, hey, New Yorkers, we cannot sell water, but what we're selling is the access to water and the filtration
Okay.
enough water. So it's important that we understand that the city it is a complex city, but it must work together. And so when you do something like this legislation, you have to demonstrate a plan to say, how do we do this? What I want to say to you, New Yorkers, which is why I am a different candidate, I'm making people feel very uncomfortable. And I'm saying to people that it is policy that is even more dangerous than the gun. And so if your police officers are wearing body cameras, our city council members should not be allowed to meet with developers unless they're going to turn on the camera. We need now
Okay, I hear you. I
transparency.
hear you. I hear you.
Transparency.
And even as you're saying like City of Yes, and we're hearing City of Yes and City of All, um, even as you're speaking it, it's very complex. And the average person, even media people, to decipher what's going on. The only
Yeah.
thing I know, and this is Harlem Network News, I'm Terri Wisdom. I'm here with Mayoral Candidate Dr. Bartholomew, Selma Bartholomew. What I do know is that whatever these affordable houses, at least what I see going up in our neighborhood, the skyscrapers, which in Harlem we still have a little bit of zoning, so they're not able to do, what they can do other places, but it's beginning. And when you said infrastructure, like the subways, capacity is not changing.
Yes.
There is pollution, radiation that comes with this, quality of life that comes with this. And like, who are the developers? How do we benefit from what
Mhm.
they're doing? And the rents that they're charging, even at affordable,
It's
because
not.
we are bundled in AMIs of people in
Yes.
Westchester or wherever they are. So it's not affordable to us. So we still don't, if we're saying we need housing, we need more housing, it's still not housing for us, and our conditions are the same. So this is very concerning. And, even in terms of the rents and stabilize and all this stuff, it just appears like one and one is two. So
Yes. But
why
how do
is
you
there
fix
a
it?
problem?
So one, your city council. So the first thing is they should not be allowed to meet with developers unless they have on cameras, period. I'm willing to wear a camera. If I was mayor of the city of New York, a developer comes to the table, come with an agenda, and I'll put on the camera because we now need to have a government that we can trust. And our city is being run by robber barons and white collar criminals. The second thing that we now need to say to city council members is you are not, if I'm in Harlem and I'm in a 10032 zip code, or I'm in the Bronx, whatever my zip code is, you should not be allowed to use the income of people in Wall Street and outside of our community. Why? Well, if I only make $60,000 a year, why am I including in the formula? See what I said? Policy and the math.
Mhm.
Why am I now including these very large
Yes, and
numbers?
and
I'm not
I'm in
good enough.
agreement with
Yeah.
that particular, because every time, and I am a media person, but I'm also formally on Community Board 10, which represents Central Harlem 10037. And one of the great concerns is, if this AMI includes all these other people and affordable is not affordable in policy and legislation, why are we not trying to change that?
Exactly. But I think at the
Change
end
it.
of the day, you have the city council member has a choice. The developer comes to the table and says, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm calculating affordability. That city council member can say to the developer, no, go back and I want affordability based on my zip codes, right? And so that changes the conversation. The other thing also is now you have truly affordable housing, not affordability based on luxury, right? Based on someone who's outside our income bracket.
Mhm.
Other piece that I want to say to individuals is right now they're using a formula of 20% affordable and 80% whatever the developer wants. They are not meeting the set asides for seniors. They are not meeting the set asides for veterans. And we now need a public conversation to say, no, it should be 80% and the 20. And then the 80%.
The reverse,
And right, it should
absolutely
be
the
reversed.
reverse.
The
You know,
mathematics
and
is
once
against us.
again, that's a 1 and 1 is 2.
Yes,
No,
yes.
it's a 1 and 1 is 2.
So they're using the math and the policy behind the scenes to literally kill us as New Yorkers, right? And to keep us what we call poor. So if they used an 80-20, you can now say 15% is for veterans, 15% is for seniors. And let's be honest, if you now know what the income is of your zip code and your zone, you can now say, all right, let's have some for people in this income bracket, 0 to 30,000, some in another bracket. And I am very clear about my vulnerability. I've owned a business since for more than a decade. Businesses, we go up and we go down, right? And we stay with it because we are true
It's a wave.
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
It's a
So
wave, but
don't price me
it's
out.
very concerning because it's a labyrinth. When you bring in housing that only certain people can afford, then that's going to change the paradigm of who's voting, who's living in the neighborhood,
Exactly.
what the neighborhood has, and
Yes.
pretty much segue because I don't want to dwell too long because we're hitting a lot of points, and I want to make sure that people can take in the information. But the concerns of crime, the concerns of drugs, the concerns of more drug treatment facilities in
Mhm.
Harlem when there's hardly any in any of the other boroughs and places. The concern of the migrant or asylum seekers or whatever is politically correct, wherein a neighborhood like a Harlem is really bearing the brunt of it because
Yes.
the city, that's a whole nother topic in terms of the money that we have had to spend to support this when we already have people who are hurting. And then on top of that,
Just that
as
1
the
second.
people are down on 30th Street in a hotel, they're
Mhm.
shipping the kids up to Central Harlem District to learn. So
So I want to
these are
say
some of
something
the
about
things.
that. Did not mean to cut you off. I want to say
No, no,
something
no.
about the housing of asylum seekers, right? So they've made it about, okay, here's the housing, but who owns the business? Where's the money going, right? That in reality, that the city has contracted with individuals, right? They're paying under this Fair Housing Act, a developer, a landlord, $3,000+ for a 3-bedroom apartment using our tax dollars. And so they're
Okay.
using our tax dollars to give to who I call poverty pimps. How could they have negotiated that kind of pricing, right? So they've taken, okay, it's a migrant crisis. No, we have a policy crisis where you, as the city of New York, they are not accountable to us and they want city dollars, city contract dollars to go to the same individuals year after year after year. So they're using our struggle. Oh, we want housing. We want an opportunity. Oh yeah, we'll give you housing. No, what they're doing is they're taking our money and pricing us out of the market. And so New Yorkers, come June 14th for early voting, please shade that box for Dr. Bartholomew, ranked choice 1. I'm bringing a level of understanding and expertise about policy. The dress that fits me is leadership. And so I want to be able to help you get some transparency in the city of New York. And also to, now that we have transparency, let's go to work and let's now stop these policies that are killing us and pushing us out of our city. We belong here. Our children belong here. Seniors should not have to, at the most precious times in their life, have to live in a room. Living in a room, bringing us down to these conditions where we just feel like if we're barely holding on enough already. Let's go take our city back. They could
Okay,
get
well, thank you for that. And I just want to get on another, and I don't want to say hot topic, but I'm going to say that it's a hot and it's a cold topic. And that is the issue of the gun violence that is happening in our city. We know that we have experienced, police over policing in our communities, police harassment in our communities. We are, targeted. Driving while black in our city is still a reality. But
Mhm.
the other concern, and we've got to keep it real, is that there are a lot of us killing us. And
Yes,
obviously, this is a systemic problem. It has to do with the economics, it has to do with the drugs, it has to do with the mental health, it has to do with the disparities, it has to do with the machine, the prison, the pipeline machines. It has to do with the you know
it's an
going to
ecosystem.
jail is a business. They're making lots of money off of it
Exactly.
as well. So we've got to look at this, but on the real one-to-one level, we have housing projects in our city,
Mm,
and they are host for violence. They're
yes,
host for
yeah,
gangs. They're
yeah,
host for killing.
yes,
And there are people. I am a member of Harlem Mothers and Fathers Saved. As you know, my son was shot and killed 3.5 years ago. It didn't happen here in Harlem, but it's a systemic thing. It's the Harlems of the world. It happened on the Shinnecock Reservation. The case is unsolved. But in
yes.
our Harlem Mothers and Fathers Save, and God bless you, Jackie Rowe Adams and those who put it
Yeah.
together, she lost two sons, and that's why she started Harlem Mothers and Fathers Save. And she just lost another son who had special needs and was ill.
Mm,
So it's a lot that people are going through. But we truly had a young man last night that came and spoke, and his mother brought him. He's lost three friends.
yes,
He's in the projects. He's
yes,
concerned.
yes,
He's
yes.
a student. He's in college, but he's home for this.
Doing the right
It,
thing. Yeah.
it's it
Yes,
just walking out your building.
you're not
So
safe.
how do we change this paradigm? Because this is not real life, and nobody should be living in that kind of
Yes,
target. What
I
do
agree.
we do?
Yes. And so I'm sending lots of love to you, and I'm thankful, right, for her work to be able to create a space, a brave space. Well, the first thing is, I think that there's no transparency. We just say that they're guns, and we're kind of quickly reporting, but we're not really looking and saying this is the data, right? That's the first thing.
Mhm.
And the next thing is, my model is around education, redirection, accountability, and enforcement. We need now to really end this school to prison pipeline. So a bold thing that I'd like to do is really break the high school model. I think that our kids do not need to be on the same schedule as elementary and middle school kids, and they need opportunity to internships. They need opportunity to mentor. They could be working in the community gardens. They could be working in accountants. They could be working with Harlem Network, right? And
Mhm.
really
Yes.
connecting them to the adults now that they need in order to have a bigger vision of their life. So that is one piece. The other piece also is we now have to build leadership in the community. So I want to do what I'm calling stewardship block by block, training and identifying block leaders. And those block leaders will not be alone. I want to bring the youth in there in that same model, and also our police officers, bring them together. And I want the training to be very intentional. What I have discovered from going to all the different community board meetings, the NYCHA meetings, is people almost stand in their own little corners, right? And everybody's kind of angry and they're yelling at each other. And so let's give people some leadership skills, how to run a meeting, how to take notes, because what's happening is that it doesn't go anywhere. And so there's no accountability around what people said will be accomplished. And now we're doing some real relationship building. And I want to give individuals some conflict of resolution skills. We have to now build community back, because what's happening is even when someone has the victim of the loss of a child or any individual to guns, we don't even feel reporting the truth. And so cases are going unsolved because people are not speaking up, and they don't feel safe even speaking up. And also even that mindset in our society. So we have to now do education. We have to redirect. We have to have accountability. And where most people only talk enforcement, we need more police. Well, you have a police force now, but you now have to redirect how they go about working with working with our community. Also, our educational system is really about, to me, the social reproduction of failure and the level of inequities across our schools. And it is poverty pimps. When Bloomberg came into our schools and he said onto our as mayor, everybody said, "Oh my God, he's the best thing ever. He took $1." And he released his wolf packs, his political packs across our system. He had one organization that he gave them over $168 million contract, and
Wow.
they broke the backs of small businesses who are running daycare centers in the city. And
Mm.
those individuals were pushed out of business, and they were hiring who? Local teachers and little,
Mhm.
people running and working as
So
janitors.
there's a lot, basically a lot of it boils down to news, information, and media,
Yes.
which is where Harlem Network News comes in.
Thank you.
And, because first you got to know what's happening, and you certainly have shared a lot. We're going to move along, and just kind of get to closure here. This has been quite a robust discussion, but I would like you to share, what are some of the highlights and barriers that you have encountered, on this campaign to candidacy for mayor of New York City? And did you expect to encounter all these things? What's happening? What's
Um,
good?
the
What's bad?
The highlights for me are days like this, the joy shows up, right? And it has just been very heartwarming as I am actually in the community and engaging and meeting people in the laundromats. And I do Tuesdays, I've been doing Tuesdays at a pizza shop. Come have a slice with
Okay.
Dr. B and talk to me
Mhm.
about New York and coffee shop greetings. So what has been just so beautiful for me and encouraging my heart on this journey is just meeting New Yorkers and listening to them, letting them know that also I hear them, and that
Mhm.
I'm deeply concerned about who you are and our children. Oh, the barriers. Wow. The greatest barrier that I'm facing right now, New York, is I did something impossible. I got onto the Democratic ticket without the Democratic machine. And so what people do not know about New York City is that we believe that it's a fair place because we tossed this word that says matching funds. I do not get $1 of matching funds until I raise $250,000. And now I'm told that I will not get to see the debate stage unless I spend $198,000. That ensures once again that the mayor's offices pay for play New Yorkers. I cannot even
And when
write.
you say the debate stage, because I know, we're going to air this, we're pre-recorded, but we're going to air this show this evening, Harlem Network News. It is Tuesday, and we're right here. So it's the 3rd of June. So we're
Yes,
going to air this this evening, or we're going to air it on the 4th, because we know there's a mayoral debate on mainstream television
yes.
tomorrow. ABC is the channel,
It's on NBC and Telemundo,
and
and
NBC.
I do
Yes,
not,
yes,
yeah, I
yeah,
will not be
NBC.
on that
Sorry.
debate. Yeah.
So, I think what I'm hearing is that in order to be on the debate stage, not only did you have to get the matching funds, but you've got to pay a certain amount of money out of your campaign money to get onto that major.
So you didn't have to get matching funds. You
Mhm.
have to spend, period. You have to literally spend $198,000. So it's
Wow.
the candidates who you will see. You're thinking, I'm watching a debate, a mayoral debate. No, what you're watching are the candidates that the big money and the robber barons and the white collar criminals paid so that they can show up and pretend that, oh my God, they care about New York City. No, this is absolutely a scam. It's a show that you're thinking that you're watching candidates, but no, these are the ones who the PACs has funneled money, whereas my constituents are average New Yorkers, people who have people powered me, who went out and got signatures, people who want change, who doesn't have, right? $2,000, $1,000, who can't organize political PACs in order to push their candidate over. So it is shameful. And this is yet another example of why we need fresh leadership. Why is it that people, I didn't even know this. Why doesn't we know this? Because we've elected individuals who are keeping us in the dark while they work on behalf of those who are wealthy few in New York. So come tomorrow, I'm actually hosting a protest rally at 30 Rockefeller Center from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And so we are going to protest the debate and let people know that it is a pay for play culture. And what I should share is the second debate. Oh, you have to spend almost $2.4 million. And
Wow. And where is that going to be? Just
same,
drop it
same one. It's going to be on June 12th. And they have the nerve to call it the leading contender debate. No,
out.
it's the leading spender. Pay for play.
Okay. Okay.
$2.4 million.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. And we definitely know that the mayoral primary, the Democratic primary, is coming up. Early voting starts on June 14th. The actual voting is on June 24th. We definitely are going to have some experts to come in and guide you about the primary, because it's also the ranked choice voting, which can be a little bit complicated. But candidate Dr. Bartholomew, if you could just share with us how you think or you believe that you're faring in this mayoral race. And I'm asking every candidate this, not trying to project anything, but what are your plans if you, well, you've told us your plans if you do win the mayoral race. And if you do not win, what are your plans? How are you going to still try to make things happen? So if you would share that, because I think that's very critical that we have consistency. You know, that's a thing for me. Like if someone is running for office and they're doing all this and they're out there front and center, if they don't win, to me, they should still be out there front and center in the struggle, being consistent, because it's a
Absolutely.
long haul thing.
Yeah.
So,
You don't become a success overnight, New Yorkers. It takes 20 plus years, right? You've been doing the work. And so I'm asking New Yorkers to rank choice me first. I know that, they've been seeing all of the other candidates. And so my strategy is, hey, somebody fresh has now entered onto the scene. And I think New Yorkers were waiting. They were waiting for the Cinderella, right? To be able to say, where's the real candidate at? Where's the person who's bringing something fresh to the stage? And so New Yorkers, please find me at drselmab.com. I'm asking you to rank choice me first. And the reason why also, I will not unpack this, but this rank choice system is playing chess against us when we think it's checkers. That you are now being asked to rank someone like Cuomo, and he has put himself on both the Democratic and independent ticket. He's splitting our vote. And those individuals who are paying these PACs, they're splitting their votes with these other candidates. I do not have a PAC, New York. I'm asking the average New Yorker to go and rank choice me first. Dr. Selma Bartholomew, let's go win our children and city back. In terms of my plan B, I've been doing this work for more than 30 years. I am a member of the New York City community. My business is in education. I do work across this country. And I want to be clear that, I feel the same vulnerability as all New Yorkers, and in particular as a business, because we don't get the help. And so no, I have not set a plan B because, well, one, I just don't operate like that.
I
I
hear you.
think
I
nothing
hear.
else, but I am in
I hear.
it.
Eye
And
on the
so
prize.
I
I
said
got you.
that. Yep, eye on
Okay.
the prize. Don't look back. Let's go get this New York. Because if not, then you're looking over your shoulder and all of that. Nope, let's go. Let's go, New York. Let's go do this together.
Okay, well, thank you. It certainly has been great to have you on Harlem Network News, and we certainly will be following any debates that you will participate in, any forums. I know we have a forum up here in Harlem. I believe it's June 11th, and that is the one of the Divine Nine, the Delta Sigma Theta, as well as Win with Black Women. Will be putting that together once again at the AME Zion Church.
To me.
So I don't know if you know, but if you don't know,
Oh,
as I
you know
say, now
what?
you know.
I'm finding that a lot of people are denying me
Well, I think some of what we're dealing with, and I think you have frozen a
access to the
little bit,
stage.
but
Can you see me? Can you? I'm finding that a lot of people are denying access.
mhm. I think you're freezing a little bit, but what the reason that I'm sharing this and you're sharing a lot of
Thank
things
you.
is because there is often, and this is all having to do with economics, it's all having to do with our access to media, that a lot of people don't know what is going on, even you yourself as a candidate. So I'm putting that out there because I'm a member of Win with Black Women from the 4 years that, or almost going on 5 years that it's been in existence. And we need to promote this and make sure that people are coming out and make sure that if they're viable candidates, such as yourself, that you know and you're able to be there. But a
Yes,
lot of this is a communication breakdown. And I get what you're saying because let's keep it real. In New York City, only 17% of the however 8 million or 9 million people we have vote. So that
yes,
allows, if you don't have a lot of people voting, it allows those who are figureheads to just
yes,
get the people that's going to come out and vote for them, and then other people don't vote. So 17% of the people are deciding for 100% of the people. So this
yes.
is truly a problem. So if you would like to just give a brief closing statement, and we're gonna continue, and we're gonna move forward ever and backward never. Marcus Messiah Garvey. So go right ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, New Yorkers. I'm Dr. Selma Bartholomew, and I'm asking for your vote on June 24th. And I'm asking you to allow me to uplift our communities, to build an economic engine, to provide higher quality and much more transformational schools, and to really give you a better quality of life, for yourself and also our children, which are our future. Let's go win our children and our city back. And you may find me at drselmab.com. That's drselmab.com. And I'm on all social media at drselmab, the digit 4, Mayor. That's Dr. Selma B for mayor, on all the social media platforms. And more importantly, on my website, my calendar is up. And so please attend our town halls and, please give us the opportunity to get to know each other. And so I'll come. I've had basement meetings. I've had, small coffee talks. And so my goal is to get to know you and to really share the ideas and the vision that I'm bringing for New York City. And I thank you for ranking me first. Rank me
Okay.
first on June 24th.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. You know that you can reach out to us at harlemnetworknews@gmail.com. Also, you can call us directly if you have news and information, events, or things that are not being covered. You can reach us directly at 646-261-5397. And of course, we do need your support. We
Mm-hmm.
need your donations. We need your sponsorship. We need all of what you can do to help us to continue to do the work. You can reach out via email. You can Zelle us. It's all Harlem Network News. You can Cash App us. You know, call us. You can mail us a check, whatever it is. But the information, your connection, your support, your subscribing to our YouTubes, our Facebooks, all of those things, TikTok, make a difference. So we matter. Black media matters. You
Does.
matter. So thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Selma Bartholomew. It's been real. All right. Okay, Harlem, let's go. We got this. So goes Harlem. So goes the world. James Baldwin. So that's who we are. Thank you.